Rolling.
Rolling, okay. Rod, this is your fearless leader. I'm here in class with everyone. We just finished watching your video, enjoyed the jazz, and very nice touch. Okay, so we did this also for Paulina, who sent in her video. We watched it, and we filmed the feedback. So I'm gonna let your classmates go first, and I will go last. Who wants to give Rod some feedback?
Me.
Okay, that's Nadine holding the camera. So speak the truth. Here, let me film you. Okay.
Just don't mind the...
Stand and deliver, Nadine.
All right. So you said you're gonna get the data that they don't have. Here's a good question: how are you gonna get that data? Are you gonna ask the people that drink the coffee, "Hey, you want to write a diary about what you think of that taste?" You know. So it's just, and are they gonna be truthful? Or are they not gonna hurt? It's kind of difficult to say. I'm gonna get that data. The question is, how are you gonna get that data? That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a great question. It's basically data capture, how? And I think that Nadine's point about truthfulness is interesting. You'll have to be careful about data capture because they say about data analytics, garbage in, garbage out. It's got to be good data. If you're on. Crystal.
I also want to point at the data point. The data, like, why doesn't a big company can collect the data themselves? Why do they have to get the data from you?
Okay, yeah. So what you're saying is that in his business plan, he's offering data, but as an investor, you didn't quite understand how it's going to be captured and how does that work exactly, okay?
Yes,
Why?
and I'm assuming that because big company, they have much more money than the beginner, so probably can get the data faster and more convicted.
Simple word. No, this is a good example.
More convincing data.
Okay. More reliable data.
Yeah, reliable.
I think that what he's talking about, though, is data on the samples that people actually chose. So that would be unique and new data that he would be offering the companies. But anyway, it's clear that people have questions about data. Yes, Eric?
And also how will you get I wonder how we will get the samples from, like, why will Starbucks give you free coffee beans?
Okay.
And then how will you be trustful for them, like, to actually provide them to other people?
Your concern is very valid. It's like, I will get free coffee samples, and okay, well, that's a bit magical. That sounds a bit magical. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're wrong. But that would be something we'd want to know: is how are you going to get the free samples? Because when I heard that, I said, brilliant, free inventory. We love free inventory. But you're going to have to prove to us that you can actually get it for free. In particular, when you said there's like 300 different varieties, you got to make sure that you can get all those varieties sampled out of them. Anyone else? Yes, from.
And what other scope for your business, what other area you consider? Because you don't think of delivery and how to preserve the products and deliver all the process you need to think of.
Okay, so when you talk about scope and process, you mean operations.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a great point. Did you think, and of course this is just his idea, right? But some of the things we're going to want to see is what's the cost of shipping? That could kill you. Okay, sending something every month to every home who asks for free coffee might end up being very expensive. So operationally, that's going to be one important logistical consideration. The other thing you're mentioning is in terms of scope, you mean also, are you going to offer these free samples to America only?
Yes, or just certain area.
Certain area, because I can tell you from experience that shipping something to Hawaii is a lot more expensive than shipping it. If you say free coffee, people in Hawaii are going to go. Okay. Any other comments? Han, something?
I just simply love the idea, and this is just idea, so I think he's pretty great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
okay, good. Thank you for that. Yes,
I happened to read an article about one business that is quite similar to this. It's just send chocolate. They collect chocolate from all over the world, from those handcraft artists who make chocolate. So maybe you can check that out.
Good, very good. That's good that you know that. So what you're talking about here, Rod, is a sampling business. You get free inventory, you get the data, you get the customer, the company gets advertising. It seems to be something that someone's doing for chocolate with artisans. So look into that. I would also do a Google search on sampling, because that's basically what you're doing, is offering free samples in exchange for people filling out a form and some data. Any other questions or feedback for Rod? Coco? Yes.
I just have a comment that I don't know why. I just really confused why people need this service. I mean, I know there's like, he said that there are like more than 300 different kinds of coffees, but why I need this service? I want to like learn the coffee culture, so or I just receive like different kind of coffee and different ads. I don't know why I need this service.
Okay, good. I mean, there's a critical question here, which I think you tried to address at the beginning of your business plan, of your pitch, Rod, and I noticed it as well. I agree with you. And where you said in your presentation, everybody loves coffee, and I wrote on the board over here, everybody? Like, whoa. And I want to tell this for everyone here tonight. If you come up here and say, everybody loves fashion, everybody loves showers. So he corrected it because he started talking about how he started giving some numbers. I don't remember the numbers, but stay away from the word everybody. Be very, very careful with that word. I agree with him that the market is large, and I think the minute you say free anything, you're probably on to something, because if you can get the free inventory and offer people free samples. But we would want to see some evidence that people want to subscribe, pay to receive new different varieties. Maybe they'll do it for 1 month or 2 and they'll get sick of it. So that's tricky. Anyone else?
I have
Yes.
a suggestion.
Suggestion.
So what if you like really like a specific kind of coffee bean? So can you get more of it, or do you just still get subscription?
Terrific.
Yeah, maybe you can like do retail at the same time. I don't know.
I completely agree, Han. I think that, caffeine, like nicotine or other substances, is highly addictive. You are sending a free addictive substance to people's houses. So once you got them hooked on a specific type of coffee, you want to sell it to them again and again. Because what you own is not only the data, you own the customer. So you got to make sure that once you got the customer hooked, sell them some stuff, man. Direct. I think that's something there.
So that's the different business model.
I think it's an ecosystem. Like I think it's a little add-on. I think the naked product is the sample, but then there's some add-ons, and that's an interesting idea. Yes.
So to add on that, you said that you want to cooperate with brand. So maybe the brand can also add their like little story with their box that do PR for them, and people get to know their brand.
Yes. Yes, and I agree. I think that they're going to want to offer the free sample and probably some more information. But operationally, some brands might put a lot of work into it, and other brands might not. So that's going to take some managing. Okay, anyone else before we close it off? Okay, Rod, see you next week. Well done, and we like the video. Thanks, man.